Welcome back to another episode of Loose Change. Everyone's here today, actually. So, Muhammad, Jacob, Stefan, and myself, Basin. Again, we said we're going to start off every podcast like this. If you know someone who wants to sell, or you have a deal, or anything, or if you even want to work with us in terms of investing, let us know. Hit us up on either our personal Instagrams or Capstone Investments on Instagram.
Let's make some money.
And before you continue, hit like, subscribe, and comment.
So thank you for being back. And anyway, so today our discussion is actually a good one. Mo apparently has been saying that people are requesting this one.
You guys asked for this?
What's been the people saying?
So, the people want to know how to get to the bag. The people want to know how to get money. But guess what? The people are also busy. The people have jobs. The people are in school.
9 to 5.
So, today, we are going to be talking about side hustles and extra ways of income that you, as a busy, hardworking student or just hardworking person, can get into while you're still living this busy life and still taking care of your financial freedom. So,
define a side hustle first. What do you think? What is considered a side hustle? Like, what is a side hustle?
So a side hustle, I guess, in essence, my description of a side hustle would be something that is supplementary to what type of life you already lead, right? So it's not something that takes over your life completely, but for example, say you're a student and you work a part-time job or whatever it is. I wouldn't consider that a side hustle, but what I would consider a side hustle is if you're doing something on the side of that in those extra couple hours of your day that you're not using so effectively to generate some money. So we'll get more into examples, but then also say you're a person that works full time. You get a couple hours a day after the gym or a couple hours a day in general that are wasted time as well. Put those towards put some effort towards a certain thing, and it could generate some money for you. And I guess that's what you would call a side hustle. Something that's not your primary main focus of income, but it does supplement you.
Are side hustles like a long-term thing? Like, are some side hustles long-term?
It depends. Some people, believe it or not, some people fall in love with their side hustle and it becomes their main thing.
Yeah.
And that's actually a very common thing because the thing is with side hustles, it's something that you do out of your own will.
That's right.
No one's holding you towards it. It's not an employer that's holding you. It's not somebody that's on your ass about, you got to do this. It's something that you're doing, and you're doing it for your genuine need or your genuine want. Yeah. And sometimes you start to get addicted to it. You start to become so obsessed with it that you want to see how much more you can expand this side hustle.
Because you see the money that you're making. Like, you see, if you're making good money, you're like, oh, shit, like, this is literally, I'm making more than
my main hustle.
Yeah, and you didn't go through any training, nothing like that. This is something you picked up on your own. You said to yourself, hey, I'm Muhammad. I want some more money for myself. I don't like the position I'm in, or I just want, I have some goals for myself. And it would be a lot easier if I had an extra set of income, so some side income. And you start doing this so often, you're like, hey, how much more can I expand this? How much can this grow?
Yeah.
But you'd be surprised. So Corey, so our mentor Corey, he told us that once he asked one of his students to write a list of side hustles, and she literally came up with 2. Was it 2 or 3? Like, she literally came up with 2 or 3. So I feel like even though we're in a day and age where like side hustle is such a big thing, like everyone kind of talks about it, I feel like for the majority of people actually struggle to think of
side hustles.
A lot. They'll think of the most like basic one and like basic couple, and that's it. They forget about so many different.
Yeah. And hopefully we can
address
that.
They just don't know about a couple.
Yeah.
Which is a great leeway, by the way.
Yeah. One more question before we continue into that. Do side hustles have to generate cash flow right away?
No. A side hustle you do because you see the potential for it exactly in the future, and because it's something that, like I said, no one is forcing you to do. You decide on yourself, and you kind of do your research yourself, and as to how long it takes. You start to dedicate a certain amount of time, and it goes with your schedule.
Exactly,
that's the thing that people
and
like.
I also think it depends on like the type of side hustles you do, and depending on how quick you want to see that money. If it's something, if it's one example, if it's something like you're just like selling stuff that you already own at your house, like on Kijiji, Facebook, exactly, you can earn cash pretty quick. But if it's something where you need like a huge upfront investment cost, then of course like you need to go in with that mindset of I need to put in time, research, energy into doing all that, like Mo said, right, and then expect to see the cash cash flow after you put that investment.
Okay, so let's get into some. So
Yeah.
I guess we'll do round table first. Like we'll think of. So
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
like your top? Like what do you think is like a top side hustle? We'll start. round
Well, we'll
table.
start with the one Capstone is. Capstone started off as a side hustle between you two.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So you can real estate is a side hustle that actually many people start off as a side hustle and then eventually
You can turn it. Yeah.
Adopt it into a-
Yeah.
it turns
a full-time
into a full-time thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I'll talk a little bit about it. So like one side hustle that's in real estate is wholesaling, right?
Brought
And
up many times.
we brought it up a couple of times, and we can go ahead and redefine it on a different podcast. But wholesaling is one strategy. You can also see people when they first become real estate agents as well. It's not their main gig. They typically have like a 9 to 5, and they might get like 1 or 2 real estate deals coming slowly. Yeah, exactly. It trickles in, and then slowly once they see the lucrative aspect of these deals coming in, that's when they're like, okay, maybe I should take less time on my 9 to 5 and focus on building this. But in real estate, it's wholesaling, or if you do decide to go and become a real estate agent, you can do that
Or
on the
even
side.
landlording. I was gonna say like landlording.
Yeah,
could
yeah,
definitely be, like,
yeah.
Like
landlord's probably the
managing-
most just manage your
Yeah.
own property.
Property
you do,
management.
Yeah, you do your own. You do your 9 to 5, and you still have a property that you're just taking care of.
Yeah.
And you just rent out.
I even know personally a realtor who they created some they generated some money, and that was their 9 to 5, and then on the side they started flipping houses.
Exactly.
There's a lot of that's the beautiful thing about real estate is
There's
it
a
allows
lot of
you to-
avenues.
Yeah, it
is what
allows
you're
you to be
saying.
very creative, right? Your
Okay.
specific situation. If you're not a person with a lot of time, but you have money, there's
Yeah.
an avenue for you. If you're a person with not a lot of money, but you have time, there's a situation that works. There's a side hustle that works for you. So it's,
Capstone for us technically is like a side hustle because it's like Basil has like a full-time job. I'm working and I'm in school. Mo as well. Jacob like is also in school and works as well. And essentially, Capstone is a side hustle. But as it's been growing and we can't control it. Part of it is you guys. Part of it is the deals we have coming through. It's starting to turn into a main hustle. Right,
100%.
and that is like the goal with some side hustles is that essentially if you're so passionate and so driven about it, you want to commit yourself 100% because that is how you realize that full potential.
So is that defined by how much money you have? No, not how much money you have. How much money you get from the side hustle, or how much time it takes?
No, I like for us, I don't think it's even about the money.
No. I'm saying like when a side hustle
Becomes
your full time. Is it depending on your time? Depending on the time.
I think
it
it's maybe
takes?
a mix of both.
I've heard sorry to cut
No,
you,
no,
but
no,
I hear this a lot on a lot of like I listen to a lot of investors on their podcasts
Yeah.
or that, and they always say as soon as I think it became where it replaced, there's a certain
Into the
amount
mic.
amount of income that as soon as their side hustle real estate started
Meets,
to take
yeah.
over for that. You know what I mean? They started as soon as it started to cover that amount of income.
yeah, it's probably just their
they
expenses.
said-
their expenses minus their income.
Well, they're
right?
like
When their
this
income-
is coming
Yeah.
so much easier than me going to my 9 to 5.
Right.
Why in the world? It makes no sense
To
for you to
continue
Okay, Mo,
continue
what's
to go to
what's
your
the
9 to 5.
second one? Let's go.
Okay, second one for me is something I've done personally is I started to do door-to-door campaigns. Whether it was for me personally, I worked with a gentleman. And we did a gutter cleaning company. I think it was summer 2016. It was honestly such a fun time. We got together. We bought these like I guess they're these like sticks or whatever they are. That extend, they have these Eastroff cleaning brooms, I guess, or they are, right? So we'd go door to door in a lot of these neighborhoods. We'd look specifically for houses that have dirty gutters or Eastroffs, and we'd say, hey, blah, blah, blah. We're students. Well, I was a student at the time. We're students. We're looking to do this, just as a business we started by ourselves. And a lot of people love that. There are a lot of, just to give you, if this is an idea that interests you, a lot of people, whether they're, homeowners or whatever it is, some even property managers, like there's a couple small places that were willing to hire us, for a long run. Unfortunately, we were in school. We honestly, if I could go back, I probably would have done that for a lot longer. But a lot of people, when they hear that you're a student or you're a person that's doing this privately, they like to put money in your pocket because it's not going to a big corporation. It's not going
It's like supporting the local
right.
kids
You
type
like
thing.
they're supporting the face that's in front of them. Like Mohammed Al Nawari is going up to your door. He's talking to you about what he wants to do for you. When this money leaves your pocket, it's going into mine, and I what that stands behind. Whether it's going back into the business, helping my family, helping me, you can put a face behind it, right? It's not going behind somebody. If you guys watched Penny Proud, the Proud Family, Wizard Kelly. You never saw the top of his face, right? He was so tall. He's the big CEO guy. You never saw the top of his face. That's the type of people they don't like to give money into. But when they can see who you are, it makes a lot of people more willing to give money. And it's very easy too.
And door-to-door sales is one of those things. It's like it's not just like, for
You can
example,
do so much.
you did kind of the door-to-door, like
Yeah, when I first started out, yeah.
painting. Like when I first moved here, I literally did like driveway stuff.
yeah.
I did like driveway, like we basically
Yeah.
painted your driveway black. Like that's kind of all it was. Like I swear to God, like it was such a waste of.
Actually, speaking of, one of my friends does that, and it's like his full-time business. now.
Yeah, it's again. So he probably was at a point where it became like his actual full-time thing. But like door-to-door is one of those things. Like whenever you have time, especially during the spring, summer, like fall, when it's not obviously winter might be a little bit difficult, but
So it's more like services though.
yeah, like services, going. So learning something, learning a small thing to do, and then just going door to door and being like, hey, do you want me to do this for you?
Yeah.
I guess the notion with that is people don't like the idea of like rejection and going up to people and getting a no all the time. But man, that's what comes. That's what comes with it.
Man.
That's it is. But two things. One, it builds character because it gets you. You start learning how to deal with rejection and deal with like things not going your way. Two, I think people think that people are rude, like super rude. You'd be surprised how many people, man, like so many people, like they're like, oh no, like I'm good, or just like, oh, like they'll talk to you and they'll be like, oh sorry, like I'm not interested.
Yeah.
No one's gonna like yell at you. Obviously,
Yeah.
we'll get those every once in a while, but again, it's one of those things that just builds character.
And the thing is with door to door, the cost of operation is you walking on your
it's
feet.
zero.
So guess what? If you get 10 people, and I want to give a credit to my good friend Nazar. This is the first time I ever heard. No, I have to. When we were doing door to door, he's like, if you get 10 no's, and one person says yes, you're successful, because guess what? You haven't wasted. You wasted $0 walking from this house to the next, but guess what? How you've gained
Everything.
this certain amount of money for this very short amount of time. 'Cause if you're getting a no, realistically, it's like a 5, not even a 2-minute, 3-minute talk.
Conversation.
Yeah,
Conversation.
I
It's
actually
not too
enjoy
much
getting
time taken
no's
away.
because I'm like, okay, at least like you're firm. I'll move on to like the next one.
Girls,
right?
next rejection.
No, like every like I see it when it comes to like any like door-to-door sales, marketing, and stuff like that. Every single no is like one door closer to like the next yes.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
And like the thing is, there's this concept of like the law of averages just working in your favor, as in like the more just quantity and doors that you hit, you're just like increasing your likelihood, the average of you getting one yes.
Because eventually
Well,
someone's going to
if-
say yes.
But-
Exactly.
If you get technical and they're infinite no's, that means it's no yes.
No, but
Listen, if
okay,
you're-
listen.
He
Okay,
loves no's so much.
okay. Stop.
Yeah, like, I don't know, this-
Yo, you guys are missing the point. You're missing the point.
Actually, you bring up a very good point. So the second part that I forgot to mention to door is that you have to have it's pride and quality behind your service, right? If you're going to
course.
door, the one thing I just mentioned about the people are putting money in your pocket and they know who you are. They also want to see that you, Mohammed Al Nouri, you are putting forth your best effort into completing the service that you said you're going to complete. Like if I went and I told them I'm going to clean your gutters, this and that, and they go and they see I did a half-assed job, I stand behind that work. So you got to really stand behind your work.
Yeah, you're also
And
selling
it's-
yourself, is what you're saying.
Exactly. It's very easy, right? People fall in love with your personality.
Yeah,
You don't
that's
want to
so
let them
true.
down. You don't want to let them down because, guess what? When we were doing that, we kept the names and numbers of, anybody that we did service for, because the next year we want to do the same thing. Return customers. This is somebody they've seen. It's a familiar face. And you
So-
never know. Your network, we say in real estate,
Yeah.
your network is your net worth. You never know when you're going to run into somebody.
So real
you wanna
quick,
talk
so
to.
like your
Changes
side
to
hustle is
door-to-door
door-to-door services essentially. So that once again, that could be like lawn care maintenance, that could be cleaning gutters, that could be window
Snow
cleaning,
removal.
snow removal. Walking dogs, like whatever
Microwave selling.
services that you can get from just walking up to someone's house, and just selling yourself. That is essentially kind of what you're referring to, right?
Is it also
Okay.
sales of products as well?
technically, yeah, but
technically
yeah,
could, but
yeah.
but like probability,
as
yeah.
as long as the cost of operation, like as long as you can get these products as a cost and then sell them for a cost that makes sure
Profit.
that you
Yeah,
you
not all
make
people do
profit.
that because then you have to start with a product that you actually
With the
spend money
initial
on.
cost, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
if you have a good
Okay.
product, don't
Unless you have a good
don't
product,
shy away
yes.
from it. Don't shy
Yeah,
away.
for mine, my sort of side hustle is like selling what you already have. As Canadians, as North Americans, we happen to be blessed in that we live in a very abundant like place, and like we tend to have things around us that we accumulate that we might not need or don't use anymore. Right, like one man's trash could be another man's treasure, essentially. Right, so like how I essentially started, like I think I was 16, stuff like that is like I legit started with like Pokemon cards and like weird stuff like that. Whatever I had laying around the house that I was like, oh, can I put this up on
So
Kijiji?
you want to call that flipping then? You want to say
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
The
buying
thing
and then
is,
selling?
the only reason I wouldn't consider that a side hustle though.
Well, like,
Because-
hey, I'm about to dive into like the next the next part of that, because like I'm talking about like for people who legit you have nothing, like you just need to start, right? Look at what you have currently, like any resources and stuff that you can sell to at least get that little bit of capital. It might be $100, $200, and then I'm gonna talk into utilizing that to flip.
Yeah.
That's the next part, because a lot of people talk about, oh yeah, you could go flip this, but then you don't really have that initial money, right? And that's when I'm like, it's very crucial that you get that initial funds from either like sometimes it's mom and dad helping you out, but sometimes if they don't even have the funds, you need to be resourceful enough to look at what you already have around you, what you're blessed with. You utilize that, sell that, make a little bit of a cash from that, and then look into like buying stuff on the low and flipping it on
So
the high.
wholesale.
Okay, can I see some?
Flipping.
Flipping, right?
Something
Isn't
that-
flipping
that-
fixing?
No.
That's
That's
what
on
we're talking about,
houses.
real
That's
estate.
yeah.
Yes,
Go on.
something like that combines you both of your ideas
So I guess
is you said people who don't have capital, initial capital, and you said you sell your services. You can go like door to door and offer people like
Like you can walk
grass
their
mowing
dog.
or like grass mowing,
Yeah.
and you
Walk
use
their
their
dog.
mowers.
Yeah.
right?
Sometimes what we
Stuff
actually
like
did
that.
with my brother is like we will go around like like acting as like junk collectors and be like, hey, like if you have extra junk that you don't need around your house, like we'll rent a truck for like $50, U-Haul, whatever. We'll come and just clean out your house, your junk, and then essentially we will get that at almost like no cost, right? Because even though we paid $50 for to like rent out a truck to pick out all this junk, the amount, if we hit 2 or 3 houses and just collect like stuff that they don't need anymore, we've made probably more than $200 just on the like items alone in weight. Like if we even went to like the so it's like
They pay
the
for-
exactly, right? So that's like one way like that I started like 16ish, where like just rented like a small van, filled it up with junk from other
drove?
people's. Yeah, you get a driver's license at 16. You can drive with someone who has a G license.
Does your brother have what's it called?
Yo, man, this guy's a cop.
Yo, you a cop?
So-
Anyways, yeah. So essentially, like from that, we utilized the cash, went and like went on Kijiji and just found undervalued stuff. You know, it could be like pocket bikes, it could be clothes, it could be like almost anything. Cell phones as well was like something that I flipped as well. You know, since everyone has a cell phone and needs a cell phone, and you can make a lot of quick cash that way. Right, and you can do this on a weekend as well. Like it does not have to be your 9 to 5, because typically this was like a weekend job, right? Side hustle, right? And
Wow, good one.
the second one from that is kind of relates to services, is learning some sort of skill or trade that you can charge people for. And for me, like my skill or trade at the time was painting, right? So interior painting and
We're
contracting.
only doing one. That was gonna be.
Oh wow, okay. So
greedy with it.
Oh my god.
all right, let's move
By the way,
on.
he
No,
stole
I'm kidding.
that whole flipping thing. I hope you know he fully just stole that from me.
Oh
You need
my
to think
God,
about it until I
Stefan's
say
a weird
it.
shit guy.
Don't lie. Don't
Go on.
lie. Go on. We want to hear about your painting business, bro. Tell us about your endeavors.
Anyways, just it's
the fourth side hustle.
Learning a trade.
Learning a trade by Stefano Gatto.
learn a trade. Yeah. Just this day and age, I find that people don't do as much work with their hands, and it's becoming undervalued. And because of that, there's a lot of demand for people who know how to do work with their hands. Right. If you know how to fix stuff around the house, if you know how to paint a room, bedroom, stuff like that.
Learn electrical stuff.
Actually,
Actually, no.
no,
that you need to go to
that's
school
different.
for,
Yeah,
school for,
right.
yeah.
But essentially, like learning just small trades that you can go around and offer people your services. It kind of
That goes
lines
back,
up
yeah,
with
but
that.
that goes. That's basically what Mo was saying.
Yeah,
Just like,
exactly. But like I've specialized in just like trades since
Trades is a little like trades you have to acquire.
But don't you have to go to school for trades?
No.
Not some trades.
No.
Some
Not
trades
some,
you
some.
could
Oh, I
learn.
guess maybe like a car repairman or whatever. Like if you learn how to do that and you
Yeah.
can repair people's cars.
Yeah,
for stuff.
yeah. Like for example, Mo here, like he's very handy with like fixing cars. It's like I now know if I ever like need an extra oil change, I'll go to Mo. He'll
For
hook
free,
it.
apparently.
No,
Right, Basil?
but anyways, right? Like and he'll hook us up, right? You know, and that's like a skill that he will have for his entire life. That's not changing
Until
So,
he does, yeah.
Yeah.
Mine. Well, I mean, mine. I guess now it changed to drop shipping. So
Explain that.
drop shipping essentially. Okay, so it's kind of like a newer, not really really new, but it's kind of like a newer-ish type thing.
Can I say something? Isn't it basically flipping online?
Well,
No.
isn't he gonna explain it?
That's true. That's
It's
true.
not
That's the
flipping.
craziest
It's
part of all
not
this.
flipping online.
So why don't you go ahead and explain
Yeah,
it?
I know. I mean, that's. It's not flipping online. No, that's flipping online is flipping online.
Bro,
That's
don't
anyways,
listen, man.
drop
We're gonna cut off his mic after this. Okay.
Drop shipping is essentially basically like, so you are the middleman between the consumer and the actual person that has that product. So for example, say my friend actually did this. I'll give an example for my friend. He knew a site that sells it was like Fortnite merch at the time when Fortnite was big. So he made a website where people go and buy off of him, but he doesn't actually have the product. The supplier is the one that has the product,
And they send it direct.
and then they send it directly to the supplier, and they'll send it to him. He sends it to
Yeah,
them.
and all he handles is the customer
and all
service.
he handles is exactly because actually no, he doesn't
don't
even
even
get,
send it, yeah.
he
They
doesn't
send it
get
straight to
it
the
just
person.
goes straight to the consumer. So let's do it like with us. Okay, so say I am the buyer,
Yep.
you are the drop shipper, like the person, and
And
you're
I'm
Amazon,
the
for
supplier,
example.
yeah.
You're the supplier, you're Amazon.
And I'm FedEx.
Man,
You
you're
suck.
You're out
You're
of this.
gone. You're out of here.
Okay.
Anyways, so
So-
you're Amazon. I'm the buyer. He's the drop shipper.
Okay.
So I'll go. You know what? I want to buy a hoodie.
Hoodie. Okay.
Right? There's a hoodie on Amazon.
Yep.
Okay. But what did I do? I went to Stefan's website through marketing. I went to Stefan's website and I saw, oh, that's actually a 6 sweater. I'm gonna buy it. So I'll buy it. Stefan gets that order. He goes, okay, perfect. He goes to Amazon. Now he orders that sweater for you basically. So now that sweater goes straight from you, Amazon, straight to me, and he got paid.
Very easy. Cost him nothing.
It doesn't. The only
Marketing.
So marketing.
Market-
so
yeah, I
that's heavy
guess.
on marketing.
Mhm.
So that's where I guess if you do end up doing any of these side hustles and you get into and you get a bit of capital, it's one of those things that makes people a lot of money if it's
Yeah.
done right.
Okay.
A lot.
Almost every side.
So let's-
But
let's-
just kind of sorry guys to cut you off. Back
But
to
this one you
drop.
actually have to pay for your marketing, like door-to-door sales, like trades. You don't have to actually pay
It's-
for that
yeah,
stuff. But like,
But back to your drop shipping. The one thing that I remember you mentioned to me when we were talking about this earlier, drop shipping, like you just mentioned, example for sweaters, right? Somebody in the audience will be watching. He'll probably say, "Well, why don't I just buy it from Amazon?" So here's the catch with that. The reason it sounds easy enough, you have to find a product that's not.
of course,
You know what I mean? You have to find a product
That's
like,
unique.
Like some
either
people-
find a product or market, like you said, market that website so well that the person that goes onto that website, they don't even
Trust.
want to go
Yeah.
onto
Yeah.
Amazon.
Okay.
They trust and they like the way
Yeah.
you market
a
yourself so
lot of
well.
people who do it, like you said, do niche items. Like for example, one of my other friends did. I don't know if you know now, it's like a big thing, like the glasses that block blue light from
Yeah, yeah.
screens.
Yeah.
So that's what he does.
Yeah, that's very
so that's what
niche.
he's drop shipping,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's
so,
very niche. Yeah.
So exactly, it is
Niche.
niche, and it's not something that people think of all the time. But then if they do see it on like Instagram, if you're scrolling, you see like a sponsored thing, they'll be like, oh, you know what? Let me get that. So they'll go to your website, buy it. You bought it off Amazon for like 30 cents. But this person just bought it off you for $15.
That's well, actually okay. That is a dropship, but it's not usually off Amazon. It's usually like AliExpress.
No, normally it's off, normally it's off
supplier is.
Alibaba. By the way,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I
It's just an
just didn't want to
example.
give them.
No, you're right.
You can find that cheap on Amazon.
I just thought
Yeah.
like, Amazon just because like it's a common thing. But yeah, most people do it off like Chinese websites because those are normally the cheaper ones. Like Alibaba's
Yeah.
stupid cheap.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
your margins with that can be so like it can be crazy
Because you don't
margins.
have any overhead.
Yeah, because
It's-
because literally all it is, you're getting that money, and you don't need the product until. Okay, can you guys stop being stupid with your feet? So you don't actually need to have that product until you get that order. You know what I mean? The only thing that kind of is the difficult part with it is two things. One, finding that niche item that people actually come to you for,
Yeah.
and number two, just the marketing.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
gonna have to market
Okay.
really, really well.
So drop shipping is like the fifth one, essentially.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I think
Yeah.
drop shipping, honestly,
So
if done right, could
question.
potentially be
The easiest
Main
one.
hustle. The
Yeah.
main
not
hustle.
to say the easy, but it could make you. I know people
The
who
growth,
make like
the scale
they
is
make
what
up
you're
to
talking
5-6
about.
grand a month.
Yeah. So like the other thing that like
Sick.
to always keep in mind with like any side hustle is like the scalability of the venture, right? Like for example,
100%, I
right?
agree with
Like if you're just selling items that you already own, like what Mo said, it's finite. So the scalability of that is like you need to buy more items to sell more items, right? So the
100,
scalability can be
yes.
difficult. With drop shipping, it has a lot of scalability potential, right? Services as well. Like the thing with door to door, it's like it's also limited by the number of legs walking, right? So if you can only scale up by the number of people you actually have going door to door.
the number of doors
Yeah,
that you're
exactly. So keep in mind that with any side hustle you do, can you scale it up, and what is that potential? Because that is essentially what's going to allow you to walk closer and closer towards that crossroad between of leaving your current 9 to 5 job or
Yeah.
current whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because
So,
if you're
question.
making a grand and you're
Yeah.
stuck at a grand because that's all you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're limited. Like you're
Exactly.
Like you said, it's fine. You're fine.
Exactly.
You're not.
Well, go figure. Yeah, you have to do a little bit of analysis. Figure out
Yeah.
what am I doing wrong? Where,
Yeah.
why is it the nature of the? Most of the times,
Yeah,
it's not-
is it the
most of
business
times-
or is it me?
Yeah. So most of the times, it's not even like with any of these things. I don't think even with door to door, it's not the nature of the business itself, but it's your specific situation.
Yeah.
Do I need to
100%.
do I need to find some partners?
Exactly.
I agree.
Do I need
So,
to what I mean?
that
market
kind of
better?
segues into like this question. So why then is it important for everyone to kind of have a side hustle? Just like if you think about Capstone, what we're trying to do, why is it crucial for everyone to have a side hustle?
Well, before I answer that, could I say there are also all the side hustles we've mentioned are almost like self-employed side hustles. You can honorable mentions. You can do DoorDash, Uber Eats. You can deliver
Oh, yeah,
food, stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
I was
that.
actually gonna say that. I was actually gonna say one more is food delivery.
Food
Yeah.
deliveries, yeah.
Big. It's,
Yeah.
it's
Done
just
that.
on an app.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
literally is.
But-
Basel right now could sign up for one right now. While
Yeah.
I almost did.
Yeah.
I almost did.
Oh, yeah.
You should do it. You
should do
well,
it.
no, because I didn't actually get the job at Skip the Dishes because they were too many people.
Imagine getting rejected by
Imagine getting rejected from Skip the
DoorDash, like I got like rejected like 5 times, and then eventually they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we
Fine.
need people now." But I realized there's no way I'm gonna do it.
Well, I think it's also Basel tried to do it in the summer
yeah, yeah.
when there was no students. There's not many.
Yeah.
And plus, the reason I didn't do it isn't because I didn't want to do it. The reason I didn't is because I had way too much going on. Like that's the only reason. But man, I think food delivery. Honestly, if you have a car, take advantage of your car. Like you literally have 3 hours at night where you're sitting doing nothing.
Uber.
Just go pick up orders and just get it to people. You make a
Yeah.
decent amount, especially at night. At
Yeah,
night's the best time to do it.
Man, honest to God, and this is
You did it, didn't you? You literally
Oh,
did it.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Man, it was
you
great.
did it too for a little bit.
Yeah.
look. I'll tell you something. I know specific people that they rent.
They
sorry,
rent
not
a
they
car.
rent, not they rent. They finance or lease or whatever it is. They will literally, grind out like 3 or 4 services. I know the specific person knows who he is, and I hope he's watching. This guy literally hustled like 3 or 4. He did the delivery with a pizza place. He did delivery through 2 different delivery apps, and he did Uber. This guy
Wow.
paid off his car,
Car?
month to month,
Oh.
like finance. I don't know if he financed or leased it, but he paid it off and then some every single month while he was still in school, while working all those jobs. Like this guy.
I have one really
Okay,
good
yo,
one
I
which
need to
kind
meet
of-
this man.
I have
You
one
do
really
good,
good which
man.
kind of relates to you, and I think this
Yeah.
one for a person who's smart could honestly make you so much money. So 2 things. One, renting out a place and Airbnb-ing it, or renting out a car, or not renting out a car, leasing a car
On Turo.
and putting on Turo. Turo, for anyone who doesn't know, because it's kind of a little bit newish,
Newer, yeah.
it's literally like Airbnb but for cars. People just rent
Rent
out
your
their
car for a day? Yeah.
you go to a person's house and you pick up their car. It's literally
Bro,
the
their
same
stock
Airbnb.
is growing like crazy.
So
Yeah, what?
it's crazy how like that one again. So the 2 different strategies. One would be you lease a car you lease a car, or you rent it, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then no, don't rent it, lease
Don't
it.
rent
And then do it, put it on Turo. And if it's a nice car, you can get up to $150 a day. The other one is Airbnb, same thing. You go to a landlord. If you can convince a landlord to let you sublease it or sublet it, so like you do it on Airbnb. If you're renting it out monthly for whatever, a grand, and you put on Airbnb and you're making, and then you put it on for like $100 a night, you only need like 14, 15 nights for the month to be able to make your money back.
Think about it. Yeah, there's 30 days in a month.
And London, especially if you're looking downtown, like London Airbnb is not bad at all.
Oh yeah, it's pretty.
Especially near downtown, it's actually decent right now. So
Yeah.
London's
it's one
the
of those
second.
things.
Just to give you guys, there's an article that came out with
Ooh, I really like that one.
CBC.
That one I really like.
This guy like narcissist.
No,
No,
I
I'm
really
kidding.
like that one.
London Airbnb. The population itself is the second fastest growing population in Canada. And CBC came out with this article on the 22nd. I shared it on Facebook. It's crazy. We still have the 381,000 people
The one, the sign.
Yeah,
one
yeah.
that's
You know,
sitting
we're
there
like,
for
we're, you know, we're
I
like
moved here
almost,
7 years ago and it's been the same thing.
bro. We're almost north of 500,000 people.
Yeah,
when
we have
students are here, I'm pretty sure we're north of that. Like,
Maybe, yeah.
it's. I say this to anybody who wants to start a side hustle, even just something for
Now's the
yourself.
time to do it.
Oh my God, it's never been a better time. Just take a
For
risk,
Londoners,
do your
yeah.
thing. Like, there is a market for almost anything in London. You know what I mean? So,
Also,
Okay.
disclaimer.
It's not specific to London only, though.
Also,
Yeah, yeah.
disclaimer for all these hustles, by the way, too. Like, just so you know, like, they're called side hustles for a reason. They're not easy, and
Nope.
it doesn't just come and it doesn't
it's
just
hustle,
happen.
hustle.
You do have to work hard, but that's where your dedication and your discipline and your mentality shows.
And how bad you want it.
Yeah,
right?
and how bad you want it. If you don't want it, then yeah, you're not gonna make money. It's easy to say, "Oh, I tried it and I didn't really care and you didn't make money." Yeah, because you probably didn't put enough effort.
And you tried it for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Didn't make money. You're like,
It's-
oh man.
Yeah, like you need to be able to have that discipline to first of all stick with it, like you said. It's not just like a 2 week thing.
That's right.
Number two, you need to actually be dedicated enough to know what your goal is and remember why you're doing what you're doing. If you don't need the money, then yeah, sure, don't do it. Why are you wasting your time? Just go chill and do nothing if you don't need the money. But most people our age do need money and they don't have time to do it during the day. So take advantage of the hours that you're sitting doing nothing. Because the amount of time that is wasted during the day, we've all been to university. We know how much time we waste. As much as we say we're studying and we're busy and I have all this stuff.
There's so much time.
There is
to
a
make.
lot of time.
Yeah.
Weekends, man, like how many hours on a weekend do you waste?
A lot.
So it's one of those things.
Just even sleeping in, right?
Stop.
Yeah, just
21
even sleeping.
stats
Yeah,
sound
like
a lot.
what?
Nothing.
But yeah, anyways, like I don't know. I just saying because man, I used to make the excuses too. Like I know how it is. So it's just one of those things. Like I made a note for myself. Like I need to take advantage of my my weekends and my like wasted time. So that's what I'm doing with mine. Mine is just happens to be real estate.
And then just to add to that, scale things out to compared to like how your time is. So if you're a person, for example, who's in school full time, and you have a certain amount of time delegated to this side hustle, don't go and look at somebody who's doing this full time and compare yourself to that. That's the biggest thing that demotivates people is they look at people who are doing these type of side hustles
I'm
like
not making
full time. They're like, oh, I'm not making that, so I'm not doing it right, so I'm gonna stop doing it. No, look at how much you're making in comparison to how much time you're putting in. Like
Only compare yourself to yourself.
Just
is
like
what
when you
you're
go and
saying.
scale out jobs.
Proportion, right?
Yeah, just like when you go and scale out jobs, how much am I getting paid an hour? Okay, how much hours did you put in? That's how much you look at for how much you're getting paid for your paycheck, right?
Yeah.
How many hours did I work? So then do the same thing for your side hustle. How many
100%.
hours
Yeah.
did I dedicate towards the side hustle, and then what's my outcome?
Facts.
Because if you make $100 and you
Right.
think that's not a lot, but you put in 2 hours,
Bro, you make
that's $50 an hour.
Yeah,
So
That's right,
It's,
that's right.
it's one of those. Yeah. So
Yeah.
That's
So-
like what I was saying. Like if you get 10 no's when you're doing door knocking, those 10 no's in
Transition.
accumulation took what, like 5-10 minutes of your day, but you
Right,
get the
you
one
get it.
yes that made you what, $300.
That's right.
Buddy, you're
Yeah,
living.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
laughing.
exactly. Okay, so then
Any
let's
other
actually
ones?
segue
Can
into
I say one more thing?
'cause
There's also some
Sam
side
would-
hustles where you might not get money for a long time. You might need to learn the skill and progress,
No,
right?
but that's what it is. Right?
Yeah.
You just have to plan first and foremost. Look at your specific situation, not anybody else's, yours, and then figure it out from there.
Be disciplined, like
Do I need a side hustle that's gonna cash flow quick? Do I
Yeah.
need a side hustle that takes time? What do I need?
one that we forgot to bring up.
What's up?
So I was gonna bring up babysitting, but babysitting is just one of those like small things. But no,
I hate
tutoring.
kids. No, I'm kidding.
Oh yeah.
Tutoring. I think tutoring
Oh.
is a crucial one because there's a lot of people who underestimate
How much?
how much
Bro.
they know and the fact that you knowing even like grade 12 math, go to a grade 9 or grade 8 and tutor them. I got asked to tutor someone for grade 7 English.
That's amazing.
You know what I mean?
You don't even know English.
I barely even know that's what I'm saying.
It's a second language.
You know what I mean?
No, but yo, honestly, this is a little bit of a stand moment. Like I love this guy. I've been following him on Instagram and Vine when it was a thing for a while. But one of my favorite like Instagrammers came up with the app last year, and he's been trying to launch this app for 3 years. It's literally a tutor app with anybody in the world, any subject you want. You go on this app and say you want a mechanic to help you fix a car, and you'll have like a list of people that can get online within minutes, and you can schedule a specific time with them, and you can see how much they charge right away. So say I have Jacob, Basil, and Stefan. I need help setting up these mics. Figuring out how to use a studio system. Basil charges $15. He speaks English and Arabic. Stefan charges this much. He speaks this, that.
What does he speak?
Swahili and English, I believe, right? Come on, bro. I know my dog. Same thing for you.
No, Italian and Spanish.
You speak? No, you're lying. Anyways, but in all seriousness, it's literally an app, and anybody can sign up to be a tutor or a person that needs to teach. So these things are out there for you. You just gotta go out and look for it.
Yeah.
Again.
So I think the key takeaway with that is also utilizing the technology that we have around us. Like in this day and age, we are blessed to have the internet. The internet has decentralized information, right? So we can now talk to each other in a matter of seconds. We can now FaceTime someone across the world and like instantly, right? Take advantage of that and utilize technology in your business to either expedite your results and your success.
And back to the tutoring thing, again, you would be surprised how much you know compared to high school kids and compared to elementary school kids.
And it's quick cash
And it's
flow
quick,
too.
man. Like it's man. Like some tutors, even little man, like kids. Like I know two people. One, there's this guy, and anyone who goes to Western and goes to Weldon knows this man. He is there every single day, sitting on like the tables along the wall. Some old guy with glasses. Like I'm telling you, if you go to Weldon, you know this man. I swear to God.
This guy's fully snitching on this guy. He's about to get robbed after this
what are you
podcast,
talking
and it's
about?
gonna be your fault.
Everyone knows it. No,
Even
trust
the
me.
location,
Anyone who goes to Western knows this guy. He's there all the time. Like he's there from like 9 to like 1 or 2.
What's he wearing?
Man, student after student, like one at a time. And he probably charges like $40 for that 1 hour. Imagine that. Like, and there's another guy who goes to the YMCA, like another, like I think he's in grade 12 or he's going into his first year engineering. He tutors like people grade 9 and 10 for math.
There's this old taxi driver, African guy, bro.
Most simple things.
I remember him yelling at me in grade 11, teach me how to do, I think it was functions, bro. I was so bad, bro. He used to yell at me. My dad used to pay him.
People need tutors, man. People need tutors. So if you're even decent at a specific course like science, math, English, take advantage of that. Just teach that. Put on Kijiji. Just put up an ad. Be like, hey, I tutor this is this. You'd be surprised how many people reach out to you.
Awesome. Yeah, man. Just put yourself out there.
I have one more.
Side hustle?
Yes.
Let's do it, man.
We're
just shooting side hustle today.
Why not, bro?
No, man. I feel like that's literally what people want. That list.
Okay, so one last one. Let's do it.
What was I gonna say? What was it?
You forgot already.
Oh, what was it?
Content
Something
creation.
Nabi.
No.
Must
But
have
like
mentioned Nabi.
Filming,
if not,
photography.
like how about this? How about we'll summarize like a whole list, put it in the description afterwards, so
And
that
then
like
just
everyone
think
can just go over
And
it.
if it comes back,
Music,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
playing piano at weddings.
But anyways,
Yeah, shut up.
like let's segue into like why we're even having this conversation.
Yeah.
Why side hustles are important
Yeah.
relative to like Capstone and like everything we're trying to teach.
Yep.
So where is it?
No,
Yo.
actually, go.
What?
Come back to me. Come back
Okay,
to me.
okay.
So
Anyways,
look,
yeah.
the reason, and this is I think is very important to anybody. It's gonna apply to anybody. Basil, wallahi, it's like I don't think it will come to you because Masa met Nabi.
Bismillah.
Anyways, listen. The reason why we're even talking about side hustles, right, is essentially because like here at Capstone, we're all here not only to add value to you, but to help you walk towards your path to financial freedom and what that means to you.
I remembered it.
He remembered
I
it.
hate this guy.
Can I just quickly say it?
What is it?
Okay. Another one is if you have a certain knowledge or if you know how to do some stuff, again, like set up a podcast, do stuff like that. What?
Okay, keep going. Continue.
Yeah. If you know how to set up a podcast, if you know how to, like, anything to do with anything like where it can actually be teachable, make a course.
Oh, so instead of tutoring, actually
Instead
make
of
your,
tutoring,
make your
yeah,
own course.
just make like a bundle of like 5. Like for example, Muhammad, you know the wholesale bundle that I sent to you.
Of course.
Like make like a bundle of like 5-6
Right there,
videos.
yeah. Make
Of
a course.
yeah, like make a course on how to do
Yeah.
specific things.
So I think that ties into
and then,
tutoring.
and then just sell it.
Yeah.
So it's similar. Yeah, so it's tied to tutoring.
And
you
I was
can
shaking my head.
What?
I mean-
No, I know it's similar to tutoring, but I mean
No,
like
no, you're right,
actually
you're right. I get
making
what
a
you
making a program that you can sell to people where you don't even have to go to
Be
them.
there.
You literally have a website and people order your
Sell it.
courses.
Yeah.
And their website's already up there, like Udemy,
Yeah.
where you can upload.
Yeah, and you just
then,
upload it and then
somebody,
people-
if somebody's shy, they don't want to talk
Yeah.
to you, boom,
Yeah,
it's
so
right there
yeah,
for you.
Yeah.
exactly. And
So-
you never know who's gonna reach, like who's gonna
Yeah.
go on that website and just buy your course. So make a course if you know how to do a specific thing.
Set up and everything.
Yeah, I think
of
it'd be
course.
good to make a course and just put it up there. Just take videos of yourself and upload it.
Okay, so Basil.
Okay, that's you.
Why is this important? Why are side hustles important?
Yeah.
How do they lead these people to a brighter future? What do they contribute to the everyday person, the busy person?
I think the main thing that comes out of you doing side hustles and actually becoming successful with it isn't even necessarily the money. I think it's the discipline that you learn from it. I think it's one of those things that it takes patience and it takes hard work and it takes actually grinding a lot. And I think that if you become successful with it, that means that you took those right steps. You had that patience. You had that eagerness to want to learn and want to work. And I think that if you can develop that, I think that'll set you up not just for now, but it'll set you up in general. Even if that means
you can apply it
yeah,
to a
even if
lot
that
of
means you
different-
want to go into a career, like an actual career. You know how disciplined you are. You know how driven you are, and that comes off on interviews. They can tell that you are driven. Obviously, and then another thing is, and then the second thing is, it makes you money. It'll let you. One, it'll let you actually take control of your time, and because you're making money off your side hustles and you control when you want to work. And number two, it makes you money for you to be able to set up something else. A lot of people's side hustles aren't their final, like, this is my career path.
They go
A lot of people start side hustles so they can accumulate capital. For example, I already talked to you about this. My passion and my
Is
goal in
sports.
life is sports. Something to do with sports.
Yeah,
sports media, sports, and like something
Analytics,
with sports.
Excuse me.
Me right now, I think that real estate, I already started it. Real estate is my path
Your vehicle.
to that. Exactly.
your
It's my
vehicle.
vehicle to drive me to what I want to do after.
It's a nice card, though.
You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
a nice, yeah, and
Sick
it
car.
pays off really well. So I think that it allows you to plan your future ahead of what you actually want to do and realize that I don't need to work a full-time job to make money. Here I am working on my side hustle. I'm making money.
Yeah.
So let me focus on my actual passion and goal in life.
And like
'Cause
the
a lot of
other
people-
thing,
sorry, a lot of people say like I can't be an author. I can't write poems. I can't do music. Why? Because it doesn't make me enough money. If you work hard enough and okay, yeah, obviously focus on your music stuff, but if you do some of these side hustles and are making that money,
It allows
You
you
don't
to
have to
time.
worry
yeah,
about that
exactly.
anymore.
You are putting yourself in a situation where come 30 years old, 35 years old, you can put 100% of your passion into your actual
Passion.
reason of life kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because a lot of
Yeah.
people say that. A lot of people say like, I was born on this earth to do this and this and
Yeah.
this, but I can't do it because it doesn't make me money.
ABC, yeah.
Right? So doing these and focusing on the grind of the 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. and making that money will set you up in a position where you can actually focus on what you were put on this earth to do.
Which is a good segue to the next podcast, but
No, like that's basically all the takeaways, Basil. Thank you for that
Sorry,
podcast.
I don't know. I just kinda, like,
You rambled.
Like all
I know.
the takeaways.
I-
This man just,
Sorry, no, it's just no. I don't know. It's just- it's just
like
one of those
that.
things,
That
like,
was really good. No,
I'm just so passionate about it because
yeah.
because I know people who want to do other stuff.
Exactly. And like the thing is, it's like live today like no one else, right? So that you can live and give tomorrow like no one else. So, for example,
Fact.
right? If
Quote from Dave Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey as well,
No,
yes,
don't sue us,
exactly,
don't.
yeah. So not my words, but listen.
We'll change the audio a little bit, so it's a little bit different.
All right, listen, right? So, for example, when you look at the average, individual, what are they doing with their life? Are they just, 9 to 5, living paycheck to paycheck, right? And then ask yourself, is that the same path that you're trying to go under? Right, and if that's honestly where you feel like comfortable,
Yeah, 'cause some people are comfortable
with life,
with that.
that's okay. Then you do exactly what everyone else is doing. But if you feel like your path is called to be, different, more or less, doesn't matter, then you need to live and walk differently because your end life outcome is going to be different. So, for example, like when you talk about the 5 to 8, couple hours that you have at night, and you dedicate that time to your side hustle, those are hours where most people are watching Netflix. Those are hours that most people are just like kicking back, not really being productive.
Drinking
But
beer or whatever.
imagine if you're putting in an extra 3 hours a day into your side hustle, multiply that by 5 days a week. Let's say you take weekends off. That's instantly 15 hours extra into your side hustle that you're putting
Some
into.
people's part-time jobs.
Exactly.
Some people work
Multiply that
15
over
hours.
an entire year. It's those small incremental changes that move you towards that larger goal in life, right? And I think that's why side hustles are important. And you also brought up like the money aspect. From a finance standpoint, every wealthy person has multiple streams of
The average
income.
millionaire has 7 income streams.
Exactly. The average millionaire has 7 income streams.
It's kind of funny because a million has 7 zeros or 7 digits. Sorry.
You wonder why. Exactly, right? So your first income stream might be your 9 to 5 job. That's maybe one salary. But then you need to find 6 other things, especially if you're going towards that path of like immense wealth, and you need to find those other income streams, and side hustles allow you to do that. Because, for example, real estate, once it starts cash flowing, right, and it becomes autonomous, that's just one income stream. Then you can go into your sports media. That will be another income stream. Then from there, you can start off like a different business, drop shipping. And before you know,
I'm gonna do drop shipping.
yeah, exactly. And before you know it, like over the span of your life, you've built up those income streams that continue to sustain whatever lifestyle that you want to do the things that you're completely passionate about.
So, Stefan, what's your end goal? You want to make music?
Yeah,
This is why you're doing your side hustle.
Yeah. So my end goal is to go back and actually like have a music career, whether that is producing for people, or whether that's in like actually running a whole music management firm. That's where I see myself, right?
The side hustle is going to drive you there.
Exactly. And like real estate is the vehicle, very nice vehicle, that is going to drive me towards that like dream of running my own like whole music label, right? So yeah. Man.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Patience is a virtue.
Facts.
Okay, since I think the theme is we're all talking about what side
Why side
hustles
hustle?
are personal. Like, first of all, why they're good and what they're doing it for us personally. So,
For you.
you guys basically have covered, all the reasons why they're important.
Well,
Okay,
Bassel has.
But
I'm joking, I said I'm joking.
my side hustle is so I can stop working with these. No, I'm kidding. Anyways, no, I've always been told that I can articulate myself and connect with people on a very personal level.
Yes.
I've always been wondering how I can use that to benefit, my people. And when I say my people, I've always bring this up. I always want to go back home and teach, financial freedom. I just want to teach people back home that, man, it's great where you are, and we need to fix. All of us, I feel like, we're all we all immigrated here from somewhere, and I feel like all of our countries have, I love Canada for being able to teach us all these things, but I think we owe it to our people to go back and
give
try
back,
to teach and at least
yes.
communicate to them. So my big thing is I hope to use any side hustle, and especially real estate, as a way
To give back.
build enough capital so that I can freely go back and I can come back with some sort of credibility and some sort of capital stack, and then still say, build a educational institution that teaches personal finance. So maybe I can, instill that in all the curriculums back home. Like
Financial
this
literacy.
is the time
yeah.
of reform for them back there. So it's the time of the most vulnerability. And whether you take that when you take that in a negative note, you say, oh, vulnerability meaning, oh, anybody can take advantage of them. But when you look at that from a positive aspect, vulnerability means that it's time for change as well, and you can affect it in a positive way by putting new programs, new things in place. So I know that Muhammad Al-Nouri, as of right now, I don't have the capital, I don't have the funds to be able to go back and make a major change. Sure, I have the word of mouth, but I want to portray that into a major scale. So I use real estate as a vehicle so that, hopefully I can plant the seed now, and then by the time I get there, I have all the fertilizer, I have all the water, I have all that I need for this to grow into its full fruition, right? So
That's beautiful.
That's the whole-
That
that's-
is
that's the whole
absolutely
thing for me.
beautiful. I resonate with that.
respect.
What are you, buddy?
Yeah, how's he supposed to follow that?
No,
How you gonna get every?
No, you don't even know.
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. Yeah.
So I think side hustles
That's
are
beautiful.
important because it allows you and gives you the time, eventually, once you have accumulated enough wealth from your side hustle, to do what you really love without worrying whether you're making money in it or not.
What's your goal?
Making documentaries. Making documentaries is my end goal.
Oh wow! Yeah. This is the first time I'm hearing this.
I'm not gonna lie. I read that.
Yeah, that's basically. I don't have a whole story about
do
it.
you have specifics, like specific types, or you just want to focus on one thing and make a whole documentary on anything?
Wait, sorry, what?
Do you have any specific like passion?
Types of documentaries?
Yeah.
Sports documentaries and animal documentaries.
No way.
I'm really
Everything.
The animal one's gonna be that's gonna be a problem.
BBC.
So, well,
With this man's voice.
okay, we'll end it off on that. We'll do. I guess takeaways. I mean, we just did takeaways.
Look, let's just.
I'll quickly recap. So I'll quickly recap the ones that I wrote down.
I'm thinking of something else.
So first side hustle we talked about is real estate.
Real estate.
And real estate comes from the three different forms of either wholesaling, becoming an agent, or becoming a landlord.
A bunch of different.
Yeah,
plus,
but those are the main ones.
Right.
Door-to-door services, offering door-to-door services. Flipping items, which is essentially like reselling items, getting them for cheap, selling them for more,
Right.
or fixing them and selling them. Learning a trade and then offering it to people. So again, car mechanic, like painting, stuff like that. Drop shipping, which is again, you're the middleman between the supplier and the actual buyer.
Right.
And then food delivery. Food delivery.
Pretty obvious.
Rent out. I wrote rent out rooms and cars. So that comes in the form of Airbnb and Turo. Just actually like renting a apartment or leasing a car and then putting them on Turo or Airbnb. Last two are becoming a tutor, going to a high school, being like, hey, like I'm offering tutor services, put it on Kijiji, something like that. And then the last one is setting up a course. So like a bundle of courses, like literally one that I was just thinking of right now when we were talking, like you can you can literally film yourself doing your taxes and then making it a course.
You forgot one. Hitting the like button.
Oh.
That's a really good side hustle, to be honest.
Yeah, because eventually it makes you money once you learn all.
Because you learn how to like
And then when you click subscribe as well.
Yeah, and you like it.
When you click subscribe, I heard something crazy happens.
Oh yeah. I
You
think
heard about that thing?
yeah.
You heard about that
Yeah, I
thing?
heard. Anyways, so end off on that. Let us know some side hustles that you can think of and any that you might want to actually get on.
And if you have questions about any of the ones we mentioned, there's a reason we mentioned them. Like we obviously have done most of the ones that we've talked about.
Yep.
Let us know. We'll help you as much as we can.
And listen on
Yeah.
Spotify and Apple
so again,
Podcasts.
we're on Apple Music, we're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere you can basically get a podcast. We're on now. So, and then we'll leave it off on that. So thank you for viewing. Like, subscribe, comment, and we will catch you guys next week.
Peace and love.